Welcome back from the break. You're still watching Life and Style on KTN this morning. This is my favorite part of Inspiration Thursday, where we get to sample a restaurant of the week and, of course, books and blogs. Today, we're at Radisson Blu Hotel, Nairobi, one of my favorites. And we'll be getting to, of course, speak to the general manager and the chef to find out what makes this hotel unique. Today on Books and Blogs, we have two bloggers, David Mugo, who runs niaje.com, and Wamaitha, who runs hapakenya.com. Let's go on and meet them and have this invigorating conversation. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for
having
us.
Are you shy now?
No, not at all.
Yes, so Wamaitha,
yes.
David,
yes.
niaje.com,
yes.
hapakenya.com.
Yes.
Your beginnings, when did you start this? Let's start with you, David.
Well, I have been on the web since 1999.
Yeah, that sounds like I've been living in the web. You know,
Yes, okay, literally just doing different things. Before there was blogging, we had online dating sites. That was before Facebook.
Did you run one?
I actually had one, yes. I had one that I eventually sold to start another venture. But yeah, I've been online with different projects for a long time. And niaje.com came about in 2006.
Wow, congratulations. 10 years of blogging.
It's actually as old as my daughter, my second-born daughter.
Did you meet your wife through your online dating service?
No. I don't think those things work though.
They do they?
I don't think they work.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Wamaitha?
So I've been blogging since 2009.
Okay.
I started out as I'm a creative writer, so
Okay.
I started out in the art, poetry, short story side with a blog called wamaitha.com. And then after that, in 2012, I started now Hapakenya. So Hapakenya is about four and a half years old.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about this journey is that, I mean, when we started out, and I can tell you, is that, you know, blogging was a thing, you know, people thought that you do in your underwear at home, you know, and it was really looked down upon. But it's interesting how now this is
it's a very big thing.
I know, the number one source of news and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And did you know Gafla was sold, I think, last month?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
yes, I read about that, by the way, yes.
Yeah.
So it's a viable business.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so what motivated Hapakenya? The
So,
start of that.
I mean, okay. So, I mean, for Hapakenya, I realized that we don't have a lot of lifestyle content in Kenya. So when you think about someone who's between the ages of 20 and 35, you know, the different aspects of their life, you know, from getting a passport, you know, where to go, like in terms of, you know, traveling, you know, go to eat, etc. We didn't have like a lot of, you know, that kind of content. I mean, there was, I think, Capsule Lifestyle at the time, but they were not really doing as much. They were not really publishing as much content, you know, as I think there should have been. So I thought, you know, that's an area that I should start.
Yeah.
And then I started it, and it has been, you know, quite an interesting journey. Of course, you know, I wish I had more content, but, you know, I mean, it has been good so far.
Yeah.
Yes.
Niaje.com, the place we go to verify whether this is true, you know, whether it's about any socialite or whether it's from the president's kids to the socialites, anyone, the whole gamut of celebrities. We go to your website to check that out. How have you built that credibility over time?
Well, I think number one is, like I said, Niaje was born in 2006, but then this blogging thing became a big thing, say from 2010, coming towards 2016. And that's the time Esther Arunga's story broke. And I'd say most of my traffic in that time, like, it was the most surprising thing. I got a lot of traffic because we wrote stories about Esther Arunga and, you know, all these things that were happening, and they looked like there was something crazy, you know, it was unbelievable what was going on. And what we did was we would try and get the real story. While everybody was speculating, we'll go and try and look for these people. I remember interviewing Wilson Malaba, who was at the time dating Esther Arunga. And nobody else had done that, even the media houses. They had ignored Wilson Malaba. And that gave us credibility. From there, everyone who I've worked with, I've always told them, I avoid stories that are defaming. I don't want to kill people's careers. We have artists who spend a lot of time and a lot of resources trying to build their careers. And my goal is not to kill them, it's to build them. So Niaje exists to deliver a positive side of the entertainment and lifestyle news. And I remember even, I think it's 2 or 3 days ago, I wrote about a story that a popular video producer contacted me and told me this story affects on me negatively. And while the story was getting hits, I decided I'd rather keep him as a resource because the industry is so small, it's still very small. We need to build each other, not kill each other. And I'm for that, and that's why Niaje exists.
I really respect you for that, by the way, because there are people who just go out of their way to annihilate people's character, and you know, by the time you read something about you, you don't come out of your house. And just to hear you say it's about the positive. So when I dig into your website archives, I will not see anything trashy about. It's just factual.
It's factual. There are people who mess. And sometimes you have to tell the stories because it's also a lesson for other people not to take that path. But then we will not go and create fake stories or follow what people are writing because it's making hits. We will verify the story before running it. And even then, there are different angles of covering even a negative story. So we will tell it in a very different way so that even whoever reads the story digs something positive about it and at least learns a lesson, even if somebody messed up.
Wow, I mean, hats off for that. Really hats off for that. You know, when they said you're having this interview with me, I said, what, Niaje, you're sure we're having this interview with Niaje? And then the next time, you know, I'll be in the news for something and they'll write badly about us. But that is such a relief, and really, really kudos to that. Wamaitha, the challenges you've gone through while building your brand, your blog, what have those been?
I think for me, the biggest challenge has been getting good writers. Once the website got going, like in terms of you know, I mean, when it got bigger, you know, I of course needed help, and I needed writers. That has been a problem. So I've done a lot of training. You know, I've tried to go to unis. I've tried to get professional writers, and it has been you know, I mean, quite a journey. Getting good writers in Kenya in general is not easy, and then also you know, advertising shillings. So getting business, getting advertising hasn't been. Wasn't easy in the beginning. Right now, it's a bit easier as more companies invest. But in the beginning, it was quite hard getting people to understand that I have an audience. Actually, you know, probably even bigger than say, you know, Nation, etc. But the paper though. But it was quite hard, and then also getting readership. You know, this thing about what a blog is was a thing that we struggled with in the beginning. So, for instance, if I write about something, they would have to go to, say, another website to see if it's actually legit. So in the beginning, it was very hard to sort of like get that, you know, credibility.
Yeah.
But right now we have it, and of course things are better.
You're in a good place.
Yes.
It's very shocking to hear you say we don't have good writers in Kenya.
I think the word is reliable.
Reliable.
Yeah, they can write, but they're not reliable.
Meaning, I'll give you my word that I'll send this article and then I will not send it.
Yes. So, and their contracts and everything, you're supposed to do A, B, C, D, and then they don't do it. Yeah.
Have you faced the same challenge?
Well, in the beginning, yes, but I currently learned that it's always best to work with people you engage officially. So any writer I work with is actually employed by Niaje. And anyone else, once in a while I have contributors, but I don't depend on their content. So their content comes, I'm good. The content doesn't come, I'm still good.
Yeah. So if the people watching right now, they want to be contributors on your blogs, would you encourage that?
Of course, of course. I mean, just send me an email, hello@habakenya.com, and with a sample of your writing, and yeah, if I like it, why not?
Why don't you say that on camera?
Oh yes. So hi, my name is Wamaitha from habakenya.com. If you want to write for me, just email me at hello. That's HELLO @habakenya.com, and then with a sample of your writing, and then if I like it, I mean, I can engage you definitely.
What about you? Are you in need of?
Usually, what happens is that we have built a platform that people come to.
Okay.
And once in a while, somebody has an article or something, an agenda he wants to drive, that they need a proper platform. And yes, Niaje is open as such a platform. Somebody may not necessarily write every day, but once in a while somebody has a very good piece that they want published. So yes, Niaje welcomes that. Just email it to me, admin@niaje.com.
Tell them.
Admin@niaje.com. We will review the article. If it's something we feel is of value to our readers, we will publish it.
And of course you pay for it.
We pay for some, and some are just, somebody just writes a piece that they feel will drive a specific agenda, not necessarily wanting to be paid. They do that.
Okay.
So we will select what we will pay for.
Yes.
But most people actually who send us articles, they usually don't even want.
They just want it out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about agenda. We know what's been going on social media, of course, which is the space you both play on. And every day, and I'll use Twitter and Facebook as an example because that's where we have trends. And if it's not trending, it didn't have an impact. And at times you see hashtags and you're like, this kind of feels like it was paid for. This kind of feels like it's attacking this other hashtag. And of course, that is birthed by bloggers, yes?
Actually, not bloggers.
It's influencers. There's a difference.
Okay, who? If not bloggers, who?
It's influencers. So basically, people who are big on social media, who are influential on social media.
But you are.
And then, well, not necessarily. To be honest, I mean, it's a different thing, because you see, the thing is, I'm a blogger. So in essence, I have a digital publishing house, right? So it's Habakenya, right? And then I am big on social media. That's, in essence, I am influential on social media. So I'm an influencer on social media. So those are totally different things. But I also I want to make a direct comment on that. The thing about it is that this is not new. Like people have been using influencers to drive their agenda forever. It's just that now the internet has created a sort of a level playing field. Yeah. It's very easy for someone to create a campaign online, right? And then the thing is, this has been made sort of like the way they're being done. It's sort of like inspired by politics. Yes. The way you do this, I do this, and then and then we continue like that. It's almost an everyday kind of thing, right? And so it's a merging of opportunities, because when you think about it, the politicians want their agenda, and there are young people who want money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a sort of like
it's a perfect fit.
Exactly. So I can't really blame the influencers. I blame where the money is coming from.
But and I'll need you to answer it. Okay. It's like what he said, going back to what he said, like Niaje is not out to assassinate anybody's character. We just provide facts as they are. Yes. So when you say we blame the politicians because they're bringing this agenda, and here we have young people who are hungry for money. So the young people have to take the money, even if the agenda is wrong?
Well, agenda being wrong, I think it's a matter of perception. Sometimes I may subscribe to something that you don't. So we are allowed to have
Yes.
differences in opinion.
Yes.
But I will say that it's selling your soul if you will take money to preach violence or hate about somebody else. However, the trends, where this discussion started is we're talking about a trend on Twitter where everybody's talking about a specific thing, and then there's diversions and there's like Twitter wars. Now, that I think is very healthy in terms of a democratic space.
Mm-hmm.
We are open, and I think we're at an age where it's so easy to tell this is just a paid agenda. But then, you as a person has a chance to participate in your real opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's an open forum.
True.
So you're not, whether somebody was paid to say something about it, you're also in a free space to speak your mind out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's become so difficult for people to just create fake agendas. The discussion right now, of course, nobody will pay me, David Mugo, to speak hate or malicious things.
Yeah.
And when I come into a conversation, because I have a place in society, I will not water that. I will give my correct opinion, and I'll back it up, and I'll stand with it eventually, whatever in whatever platform.
Yeah. But do you not think that maybe that's one of the cons of having that free space digitally? Because so we come today and we, contribute, as you rightfully say, to a hashtag and say, this is my opinion. And maybe, for example, we are speaking to, of course, everything is always very political. If it's not the president, it's the opposition, most of the time. So today we've attacked whatever is being discussed, from the opposition front. And a lot of noise has been made, and it's trended the whole day. We go to bed, tomorrow we wake up, it's not there. So to what end? When does it stop? Why do it if it's not leading somewhere, I think, is what I need to know.
Well, I think it leads somewhere eventually.
Okay.
Recently, Peter Kenneth decided to back
Yes.
Uhuru. And we know Peter Kenneth has a huge following on social media. In fact, we used to call him the Twitter president. Now, Peter Kenneth, of course now, like you said, there's a divide, the political divide. There's opposition, there's government.
Yes.
And you'll find critics and for lack of a better word, sycophants who will brand Peter Kenneth all sorts of names.
Yes.
You're a traitor, you're a tribalist because Kenyatta is a Kikuyu as well. And but the thing is, and actually he made a really good justification. He said there's two coalitions. You just pick one, whichever you feel works for your agenda.
Yeah.
And it should just be left at that.
Yes.
So we can discuss, I want to join Peter Kenneth or I don't.
Yes.
I can stay wherever else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I think that you're looking at it, from the wrong perspective.
Okay.
Twitter, social media, the internet, it's just a medium. People are having these conversations offline, right? It's just that now they just meet online and sort of like, in a way, have joint conversations because they're probably talking about the same thing. And then when you say something, I say something as well.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't have to be negative.
But
Because you
it's
see-
negative all the time.
No. That is, you see, the thing is, we have 22 million Kenyans online. We have 2 million Kenyans on Twitter. We have 6 million Kenyans on Facebook. We have 3 million Kenyans on Instagram, right? So there's absolutely no way that you can say that you have followed all those conversations that have been had. Exactly. So the thing is, it's just that I think you need new friends on social media. Because, yeah, it's true. Because now, the thing is, because it seems that you're following the negative
I don't
people.
even follow. I just go straight to the hashtag. and just see what everyone is saying. I'm like, wow, guys can be nasty.
Forget about, and you see the thing is, there are two, and he alluded to that.
Okay.
There are mercenaries who are hired to create certain hashtags. It's not, there's nothing wrong with that. It's very legal, right?
It's a job.
They're pushing some agenda,
Yeah.
etc., right? But it doesn't mean that is what they're saying there, or what is on that hashtag is what everyone is thinking or saying. You get that is just that one hashtag. And it's important, what David said. We have the Constitution gives us freedom of expression.
True.
And it's a democratic right.
Yes.
To
Express yourself.
Express ourselves.
Yes.
Unless it's hate speech or we are inciting for war. Unless it's that, everything else is okay.
Yeah.
And then also I think there's also something else. Forget about the political hashtags. There are funny stuff, there are social
Yes.
impact, there are very many other
Yes.
positive things. So you can't really say let's close this thing because people talked about.
No, I didn't say we close it. I
You
just
get
said,
what I
how
mean?
do you what's the word? Like there's a word. How
Regulate?
Yes, that's the word. Is there a way to regulate?
I think it's more personal driven. You can try and create rules and all that, and you see countries like China totally blocked some of these social networks, which I don't think is the right path. When we had elections in Uganda, all social media was blocked. And I think sometimes, while I'm in the social space and I like the contribution that we make, I think for Uganda it might have been actually the correct decision. I'm not saying it is, because a lot of people use the platform for incitement, and we love our country. I have 3 kids. I don't know anywhere else to tell them to call home. I want my country to be peaceful. I don't want a repeat of 2007. So if that's the measure it takes, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Because I know, and I've seen radical people that you cannot control on social media.
Yeah.
There are people you try to argue with, and some of these people you meet them physically, they can't even have a conversation. They're silent, but when they get behind the keyboard, I don't know what
Yeah,
changes.
something happens.
Yeah, so regulation, I think, mainly is self-driven. It's a personal decision. I am going to keep peace. I am going to be positive. I am going to do this. And same case, like I said with Nyaje, it's so attractive to do negative content because people love controversies. And that's where you get a lot of traffic, and we live by traffic.
Yes.
But it's a choice. Sometimes it's a tough choice, but you have to choose what do you want for your country. So,
I like that.
I'll disagree with David as far as regulations or shutdowns, because to be honest, you've seen like online, especially people who have really, really toxic content. People shout them down and they tell them this is not true, this is not right. Exactly. So I feel that the way it was organic, no one ever sought to create this sort of like mechanism, but you'll find that there's some sort of like counter correction. Every evil thing is is sort of like shouted down. So for me, I think it is extremely hard to start an online movement that will do an offline thing without people correcting, rather without that organic self-correction mechanism that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Sort of like shouting that down and saying, of course we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's very. For me, I don't think that's possible. But what is possible is an offline movement with an online element. That, of course, that can, of course, that can succeed, because the thing is that this is just the online bit will just be for marketing and publicity,
Yeah.
but the offline thing will exist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we close, what next for, starting with you, Nyaje? What's the next step for you? How big do you want to be?
Well,
How much bigger, rather, because you're already big.
The world has opened up, and we have audiences from all over. If you look at statistics or reports of traffic, we get views from countries that I have never even imagined I would know anyone. So video content is becoming really big. And I've been trying to do video content for quite a while, actually, since I think I first published a YouTube video in 2012. I have done interview series, I've done different kind of things. So right now, the video space, if you look at your social media timelines, especially Facebook, the video has become really big.
Yeah.
So everyone is using video for communication and you know, short, precise videos that are shareable and easily communicatable. So that's the next phase for Niaje. Okay. We're trying to develop a local AJ Plus, if you know what AJ Plus is. You know, offering factual, short captioned videos. So that's the next phase, and I think we should be publishing our first of that series from January. So
wow, congratulations. So from January 2017.
Yes.
Well done. What about your Madai for Hapa Kenya?
Hapa Kenya. Like you said,
yeah.
You know, video is big. So we're definitely going to go into that.
Okay.
Also, something else that that we haven't really done is you know, content from northern Kenya. There's, I mean, it's shaping up, like in terms of travel. So domestic tourism, that's like really big. So that's something
okay.
we also you know, want to try out. And because of what I was talking about, my writing,
yes.
you know, my writing conundrum,
yes.
We want to start on a small mentorship academy that will, you know, sort of like help improve the quality of writing, and also hopefully get more serious on board, and of course, you know, create a lot of content about Kenya. I mean, my site is called Hapa Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah. So create a lot of content, especially you know, especially around travel. I realize Kenyans love to travel, love to, and they love their country a lot. You know, and you know, that's definitely something that we want to do more of. And please read our site and give us feedback.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
of course I've been on your site,
yeah.
so I like that. You're not competitors in any way. That's the one thing I saw that now.
We complement each other.
Ish,
yeah.
Yes.
We actually
yes.
work together in a lot of projects.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Cool
I've known him for a very long time.
When he was doing the dating site, I can't get over it.
I don't think you knew me then.
No, we didn't know each other.
But through time, I've learned stuff from him. He's learned something from me.
Yeah.
We try and push. And I'm one person who believes in supporting others.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young people who come to me for advice, and I've actually mentored journalists.
Nice.
Fatma Pole was my intern.
Oh.
KTN. And a few others who are, I don't want to mention competing brands, but I've mentored at least, actually one of them was a CNN Journalist of the Year nominee.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Cool stuff. Well done. Really, really invigorating conversation. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. We'll do this again.
Yes, please.
Especially when we get to the election period, because that's when I think blogging will be at an all-time high, and we'll need to sort of like have lots of conversations to just keep everything sane and normal.
Indeed.
I think, yeah. Well, that's David Mugo from Niaje.com and Wamaitha, who doesn't like his first name known for reasons best known to him, from hapakenya.com. Don't go too far, we come back with Restaurant of the Week.